Michael bounced on the balls of his feet, barely able to contain his excitement. Tomorrow was the day. Not just any day, but the day. The day he would finally see Muhammad Ali fight. For months, it felt like their whole family had been talking about nothing else. His dad had saved up for the tickets, a real sacrifice, and Mom had even made a special "Go Ali!" banner. Michael dreamed of being a boxer himself, practicing his jabs and hooks in the mirror. Ali was more than just a fighter, he was a hero. A symbol of strength and standing up for what you believed in. Every night, Michael would read articles about Ali, memorizing his famous quotes and studying his fighting style. He even tried to imitate Ali's shuffle, much to the amusement of his older sister, Sarah. The whole house buzzed with anticipation. Dad polished his lucky belt buckle, Mom ironed the banner, and Sarah, even though she pretended not to care, secretly practiced drawing pictures of Ali. They planned their outfits, packed snacks, and even made a playlist of songs to listen to on the drive. It was going to be the best day ever, a memory they would cherish forever. Michael imagined the roar of the crowd, the bright lights, and the electrifying energy of the arena. He pictured himself getting Ali's autograph, a treasured possession he would keep forever. He could hardly sleep, his head filled with dreams of boxing rings and cheering fans. Tomorrow couldn't come fast enough. But the best day ever never came. Instead, the worst day imaginable did. It started with a crackle. A small, insignificant sound, easily dismissed. But then came the smoke, thick and acrid, stinging Michael's eyes and filling his lungs. He woke up coughing, the smell of burning plastic sharp in the air. Panic seized him. He jumped out of bed, yelling for his parents. The hallway was filled with flames, dancing hungrily along the walls. He stumbled through the smoke, blindly reaching for his sister's room. He could hear her coughing too. He pulled her out of bed, wrapping her in a blanket and guiding her through the inferno. They finally made it outside, coughing and gasping for air. The house was engulfed, flames leaping from the windows and roof. Michael watched in horror as everything they owned, everything they had worked for, went up in smoke. His parents were still inside. Firefighters arrived, their sirens screaming through the night. They battled the blaze, but it was too late. The house was a total loss. After what felt like forever, his parents emerged, soot-covered but alive. Relief washed over Michael, so powerful it almost knocked him over. They stood huddled together, watching their home burn. The "Go Ali!" banner lay in ashes. The tickets, the lucky belt buckle, Sarah's drawings, all gone. Michael felt a deep sense of loss, not just for the things they had lost, but for the dream that had been so close, now seemingly impossible. The fight, Muhammad Ali, all seemed so far away now, a distant memory overshadowed by the harsh reality of their loss. The next morning dawned gray and bleak, mirroring the emptiness in Michael's heart. His family was staying with relatives, their future uncertain. Going to the fight seemed impossible, almost disrespectful in the face of their loss. His parents were exhausted, overwhelmed with paperwork and phone calls. Sarah mostly stayed quiet, clutching a singed teddy bear she'd managed to rescue. But Michael couldn't shake the feeling that he had to go. It wasn't just about seeing Ali fight anymore. It was about proving to himself that the fire hadn't taken everything. That hope could still flicker in the darkness. He felt a pull, a need to be there, to witness something powerful and inspiring. He knew his parents wouldn't understand. So, without telling them, he made a decision. He borrowed clothes from his cousin, clothes that were too big and smelled faintly of mothballs, but they would have to do. He searched through the debris, finding a small piece of the "Go Ali!" banner that had somehow survived, though charred and blackened around the edges. It was barely readable, but he clutched it tightly. He knew it was a crazy idea. He had no ticket, no money, and no way to get there on his own. But he had a burning determination, fueled by a love for Ali and a desperate need to reclaim something from the ashes. He started walking. He didn't know how far it was, or how he would get inside, but he knew he had to try. He had to see Ali. He just had to. The walk was long and tiring. Michael's feet ached, and the oversized clothes felt heavy on his small frame. He hitched a ride on a delivery truck for a few miles, the driver grumbling about kids these days, but Michael didn't mind. He was one step closer. Finally, he saw it, the arena, a towering structure that seemed to scrape the sky. The air buzzed with excitement. People laughed, cheered, and waved banners. The smell of popcorn and hot dogs filled the air. It was everything he had imagined, but it also felt impossibly distant. He stood outside the entrance, feeling small and out of place. Everyone around him was dressed in their best clothes, excited and carefree. He felt like he was wearing a costume, a ghost from a different world. He clutched the charred banner tighter, a small piece of home in this sea of strangers. He tried to blend in, hoping no one would notice his mismatched clothes and soot-stained face. He wandered around the perimeter, searching for a way in, any way in. He saw people flashing tickets, laughing with friends, and eagerly heading inside. He felt a pang of longing, a sharp reminder of everything he had lost. He saw a group of kids sneaking around the back, near a loading dock. He hesitated for a moment, then followed them. Maybe, just maybe, he could find a way to see Ollie, even if it was just for a few seconds. He had come this far. He wasn't going to give up now. Backstage, the atmosphere was electric. Muhammad Ali, the people's champion, was preparing for his fight. His trainers bustled around him, offering advice and encouragement. Ali shadowboxed, his movements fluid and graceful, a dance of power and precision. But even amidst the pre-fight frenzy, a hushed conversation was taking place. A reporter, noticing a young boy with a scorched banner being turned away at the entrance, had relayed the story to Ali's manager. The manager, a kind-hearted man named Jabir, felt a pang of sympathy for the boy. "Sham," Jabir said, approaching Ali, "there's a kid outside. Lost his home in a fire last night. Family had tickets for tonight, but—" He trailed off, letting the implication hang in the air. Ali stopped shadowboxing, his brow furrowed with concern. "A fire? The boy's all right?" "He's okay, physically," Jabir replied. "But he's out there, wearing borrowed clothes, holding a piece of a burned banner. Says he just wants to see you fight." Ali was silent for a moment, his eyes filled with compassion. He knew what it was like to face adversity, to fight for something bigger than yourself. He understood the power of hope, especially in the face of despair. "Bring him to me," Ali said, his voice firm but gentle. "I want to meet this young man." A small smile touched his lips. "He's got more heart than anyone in this arena tonight." He resumed shadowboxing, but now, his movements seemed infused with a new purpose, a renewed sense of responsibility. He wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting for that little boy, for everyone who had ever faced hardship and loss. Meanwhile, Michael managed to slip past a distracted security guard and found himself inside the arena. The roar of the crowd hit him like a physical force. He was surrounded by a sea of faces, all focused on the boxing ring. He couldn't believe he had actually made it. He found a spot near the back, standing on his tiptoes to see over the heads of the people in front of him. The lights were blinding, the atmosphere electric. The announcer's voice boomed through the arena, introducing the fighters. Then Ali appeared. The crowd erupted, a wave of sound washing over Michael. He saw Ali's confident smile, his graceful movements, his sheer presence filling the entire arena. For a moment, Michael forgot about the fire, about his lost home, about everything. He was just a boy, watching his hero. The fight was fast and intense. Ali danced around his opponent, his punches quick and precise. Michael watched, mesmerized, cheering with the rest of the crowd. He didn't understand all the techniques, but he understood the spirit of the fight, the determination, the courage, the refusal to give up. Ali won, of course. The crowd went wild. Confetti rained down from the ceiling. Michael jumped up and down, waving his charred banner, a small, insignificant figure in the midst of the celebration. But in that moment, he felt a surge of hope, a renewed belief in the power of dreams. He had seen his hero fight, and he had survived. He knew, somehow, that everything would be all right. As the crowd began to thin, Michael lingered, unsure of what to do next. He knew he should probably head back to his relative's house, but he couldn't bring himself to leave just yet. He wanted to hold on to the feeling of hope, to savor the memory of seeing Ali victorious. Suddenly, he saw a figure approaching him through the crowd. It was Jabir, Ali's manager. Michael's heart leaped into his throat. "Young man," Jabir said, his voice kind. "Muhammad wants to see you." Michael could barely breathe. He followed Jabir through the maze of corridors, past locker rooms and equipment crates, his mind racing. He couldn't believe it. He was actually going to meet Muhammad Ali. They stopped outside a door, guarded by two large men. Jabir nodded to them, and they opened the door. Michael stepped inside, his eyes wide with awe. There he was. Muhammad Ali, larger than life, still sweating from the fight, his face flushed with victory. He was surrounded by his trainers and advisors, but his eyes were fixed on Michael. Ali smiled, a warm, genuine smile that put Michael at ease. He walked towards Michael, his hand outstretched. "Hey, young man," he said, his voice gentle. "I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry about the fire." Michael shook Ali's hand, his own hand trembling. He couldn't find the words to speak. He just stood there, staring at his hero. Ali, still wearing his boxing gear, his gloves now resting on a nearby table, knelt down, bringing himself to Michael's level. The smell of sweat and liniment filled the air, a tangible reminder of the battle he had just fought. He looked Michael in the eye, his gaze sincere and compassionate. "You're a brave young man," he said softly. "Coming here after what you've been through. That takes a lot of courage." Then, he did something unexpected. He reached out and gave Michael a hug. A tight, warm embrace that conveyed more than words ever could. Michael felt a surge of emotion, a mixture of gratitude, relief, and pure joy. He hugged Ali back, clinging to him for a moment, feeling safe and protected in his arms. When Ali pulled away, he stood up, his eyes still locked on Michael's. He reached behind him and unzipped his ring jacket, a shimmering gold garment emblazoned with his name. The jacket was a symbol of his victory, a tangible representation of his strength and power. With a deliberate gesture, Ali slipped the jacket off his shoulders and gently placed it onto Michael's. The jacket was far too big, swallowing Michael's small frame. But as he looked down at the shimmering gold fabric, he felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling of hope and belonging. It was more than just a jacket, it was a symbol of Ali's belief in him, a promise that even in the face of loss, anything was possible. As Ali placed the jacket on Michael's shoulders, he spoke, his voice filled with conviction. "Now you've got something they can't burn," he said. The words resonated deeply within Michael. It wasn't just about the jacket itself, although it was a magnificent gift. It was about what the jacket represented: resilience, strength, and the indomitable human spirit. Ali was telling him that even though he had lost everything, he still possessed something invaluable: his inner strength, his courage, his ability to overcome adversity. The crowd, sensing the significance of the moment, erupted in cheers. The reporters snapped photos, capturing the image of the young boy draped in the champion's jacket. The moment was electric, filled with emotion and hope. Michael, however, said nothing. He just stood there, clutching the jacket to his chest, tears streaming down his face. He couldn't articulate the emotions swirling within him. He was overwhelmed with gratitude, with awe, with a sense of being seen and understood. The jacket wasn't just a piece of clothing, it was a symbol of dignity returned. The fire had taken so much from him, stripped him bare, both physically and emotionally. But Ali's gesture had restored something essential: his sense of worth, his belief in himself, his hope for the future. The jacket was a promise that he could rise from the ashes, that he could overcome anything, that he could be a champion in his own right. It was a gift of immeasurable value, a treasure he would cherish forever. The cheers of the crowd washed over Michael, a roaring wave of support and admiration. He could feel the weight of their expectations, the weight of Ali's legacy, resting on his young shoulders. He looked up at Ali, his eyes filled with tears. He wanted to thank him, to tell him how much this meant, but the words wouldn't come. He just stood there, silently crying, the jacket clutched tightly in his hands. The tears weren't just tears of sadness or gratitude. They were tears of hope, tears of resilience, tears of a renewed sense of purpose. He felt like he had been given a second chance, a new beginning. The reporters continued to snap photos, capturing the raw emotion of the moment. The image of the small boy in the oversized jacket, his face streaked with tears, would soon be splashed across newspapers and television screens around the world. It was an image that spoke volumes about the power of compassion, the importance of hope, and the enduring legacy of Muhammad Ali. The moment stretched on, suspended in time. The cheers of the crowd faded into a gentle hum, replaced by the quiet sobs of a young boy who had lost everything but had gained something far more valuable: the belief in himself. He knew, in that instant, that his life would never be the same. He had been touched by greatness, and he would carry that touch with him forever. He would make Ali proud. He would find a way to use this gift, this moment, to make a difference in the world. He didn't know how yet, but he knew he would. Years passed. Michael grew into a strong and compassionate man. He never forgot the fire, or the kindness of Muhammad Ali. The jacket became his most prized possession, a constant reminder of hope in the face of despair. Driven by his own experience, Michael dedicated his life to helping others who had suffered from burns. He became a doctor, specializing in reconstructive surgery for burn victims. He worked tirelessly, helping people heal, both physically and emotionally, giving them the same hope that Ali had given him. In his office, carefully displayed in a glass case, was the gold ring jacket. It wasn't just a decoration, it was an inspiration. Patients would often stop and stare at it, marveling at its beauty and its history. Michael would then share his story, telling them about the fire, about Ali's kindness, and about the power of hope. The jacket served as a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even after the most devastating experiences, it was possible to heal and rebuild. It was a tangible representation of Michael's commitment to helping others, a testament to the enduring legacy of Muhammad Ali. He often wondered what Ali would think of the life he had chosen. He hoped he would be proud. He hoped he was living up to the promise he had made that day, the promise to use the gift he had been given to make a difference in the world. He knew he could never fully repay Ali for his kindness, but he could honor his memory by continuing to spread hope and compassion, one patient at a time. The gold ring jacket, encased in glass, stood as a silent testament to the power of human connection. It wasn't just a relic of a famous boxing match. It was a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It represented a moment in time when compassion transcended circumstance, when a champion saw beyond a young boy's loss and offered him a lifeline of hope. The jacket was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always light to be found. It was a symbol of dignity restored, a promise that even after being stripped bare by tragedy, it was possible to rebuild and thrive. Michael's life became a testament to that promise. He transformed his personal tragedy into a source of strength, dedicating his life to helping others find their own path to healing. He carried Ali's words with him always, a constant reminder that he possessed something that could not be destroyed: his inner strength, his compassion, his unwavering belief in the power of hope. The moment with Ali wasn't just a fleeting act of kindness. It was a pivotal turning point that shaped the course of Michael's life. It instilled in him a sense of purpose, a commitment to making a difference, and a belief that even the smallest act of compassion can have a profound impact on the world. The jacket remained a tangible reminder of that transformative encounter, a symbol of a champion's legacy and a young boy's enduring hope. It was a reminder that even after the fire, life could still be golden.